everybody. Welcome back to Soundtown. That's Russ.
And that's Eric. I don't know which side you're gonna be on when Cause okay, so this is my left hand.
You're on my left side.
I'm on your left side. Well, this is my left hand. You're on my left side. But whenever I get the recording off of the internet, sometimes we're flipped. So it's like if I'd want to do a bit where I'm staring at you and we can like do something, it's not gonna work because it'll never pan out the right way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what did pan out? This episode and our guest. It was a terrible attempt at a segue. But do you want to talk?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah?
I thought it was pretty good, yeah.
Alright, then
made up for all my mistakes.
You don't make any mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. We got a great episode coming up. Our concert photographer friend Ali Nugent, who gave us a lovely interview, talked about how to go about DIY photography and stuff like that.
Ali has taken pictures of, you name it, Marilyn Manson, Taylor Swift, Ringo the Star, Lizzo. Oh yeah, Lizzo.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
She has been around the block and then some, so she's got some great insight for us. And it's a cool peek into that small little world of concert photography, among all the other cool stuff that she's a part of. So let's just dive right into the convo, Eric. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. Well, then we'll catch you after the interview.
One of these days, I'm just gonna say no. I don't think that's a good idea.
We'll just sit here in silence for 5 minutes.
Bro, I have so many weird, backgrounds. I don't even know how to change it right now, so I'm gonna keep it.
Oh, I didn't even know I could do a cool background.
Dude.
I don't do Zoom for much other than this.
This is like my fourth time on it. I don't really mess
too much with the settings. I want my background to be Russ's room.
That would be trippy.
Funny.
What have you been up to? What's new?
Literally nothing for the last 10 and a half months. I was listening to the Halogens one right before this started, and I think it was Zach was talking about the last show they played, and that was I think the last show I went to, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh wow.
It was so long ago.
Did you have stuff cooking before the pandemic really hit?
I was doing a lot of freelance work, and then the world ended, so everything kind of came to a halt. But
sure.
Yeah.
So when you say freelance, is that more your photography based stuff, or is it something else?
Yeah, I was doing a lot of photo work, but not music photo work. A little bit of music photo work, but I started working for the School of Architecture at Princeton, which was weird and different. And that all since school all online now. They don't really need photos of kids sat on Zoom.
Eric and I live really close to Princeton.
Bro, so
I work
lucky.
in Princeton.
It's so nice. What a beautiful town.
Yeah, it's really nice. Really expensive, but really nice.
There's a Wawa there that has the nicest bathrooms I've ever seen. It looks like a church in the bathrooms.
Yeah, that Wawa is crazy. There's a garden on the roof.
What?
In downtown Princeton?
Not downtown. It's kind of off to the side, down Alexander Road by the train station.
Oh. Did you guys know that the governor of New Jersey has his own mansion? When you're the governor, you stay there, the White House, and it's in Princeton?
Yeah, it's called Drumthwacket.
Yeah, I had no idea until the other day, and me and my partner went and we took a mini road trip to go see it.
Why would it be in Princeton and not the capital? Isn't Trenton the capital?
Yeah, so there's only a handful of states whose governor mansions aren't in the capital, and we're one of them. And it's old. It's 1800s old.
Oh, that's cool.
And I guess when there's not a worldwide pandemic going on, you can tour it, which is also pretty cool.
I bet there's mad ghosts.
There has to be. Allie, do you have any good ghost stories, Allie?
Bro. Okay, so there's a ghost in my house. When we moved in here in like 2000, there was like a family moving out that like recently lost a toddler, like 2 or under.
Oh.
And it's like in the corner by my fireplace. My dogs constantly just bark at this corner. When like babies or young children come to my house, they point at it and cry. I haven't had any experiences with it. Like I just try to be like chill and acknowledge it. I'm like, what's up, little baby ghost? But so there's definitely a ghost in my house.
That's really scary.
It's a little scary.
Like I heard a ghost story earlier today where somebody was talking like they went to a hotel that there was a ghost there, and they woke up in the morning and in the bathroom their toothpaste was like all squeezed out of the tube, and you went very, very dark with it, Allie. That was very scary.
I didn't mean to, but that sounds terrifying too. Even if that's not a ghost, that's even more scary.
Well, he also said he was listening to a radio. It was like an old style radio with the knobs, and the knobs would start turning themselves.
Oh no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm out on that. I
That's
have like
paranormal.
A very silly belief that like if there, like I know there are aliens out there somehow, but I think that they like contact us through radio static. So like I do not mess with radio static at all.
That's interesting. Do you have any ghost stories, Eric?
None at all.
No. I think there's a ghost in my house, kind of, but not as scary as Allie's.
I mean, mine's not scary. He hasn't caused me any harm.
I think it's more sad than scary. I guess I want to say sad.
Yeah. Where's your ghost hanging out?
It's... Okay, so I have a 2-story house. My room's on one end and my brother's room is on another. And one time in the middle of the night, I heard somebody, like, banging on his door. Really late in the middle of the night, and he opened the door and I opened the door and no one was there.
Oh.
And then we talked about it later that day with like everybody, and they're like, oh, that's weird. And then in another instance, specifically in my room, when I turned the lights off, I could just show you. See that corner of my room where that Elvis picture is?
Yeah.
When I turn the lights off, it looks like there's somebody like in that corner, and I usually I'm just like, oh, that's just me being paranoid. And one night, it really looked like it, and I started getting the chills, and I tried to go to sleep, and I was, like, laying on my stomach because I didn't want to look at it, and I felt, like, the faintest... I swear to God. I swear.
I'm getting chills.
I like this.
Just
Yeah, the
that.
faintest caress on my forearm. And when I flipped over, I couldn't see anything, but it looked like somebody was, like, it was weird. It just, like, And I told my brother about it, and he had that same kind of situation on his side, on that side of the room.
Yeah,
No
you
one-
got a ghost.
No one's died in this house, and
like
those were the
this.
only instances. Those were the only instances, but it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. That like I haven't had any like personal ghost to ghost contact. Like I just feel like they're around. I
Yeah.
really like I don't know if it's would be called like death culture, but like I listen to like a lot of podcasts about like death sciences, and ghost stories come up pretty often, and I'm like, I want to interact with some spirits.
Have you ever been to Gettysburg?
No, but that's like the most people have died. Most people and animals died at one time, like in a battle there.
Oh, that's an interesting... I knew that a lot of people died, but I didn't know that was the exact statistic.
It might be for just the Civil War. I literally was listening to a podcast earlier about it, a death-themed podcast.
Eric, did you go to Gettysburg for a middle school field trip?
No, they stopped. They canceled that trip like the year. I think like the grade before me was the last
Dang.
grade to go, and then they canceled it. So
It's messed up.
my
Did you
grade
get to
missed
go
out
to,
on all the fun field
Like
trips.
Washington, D.C. in 8th grade? Was that a thing that your school did?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, mine neither.
Yeah, we went to Gettysburg and we did like the ghost tour, and that was pretty cool.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, that was the best field trip for me because like a lot of like crazy stuff happened just with like people in my grade being reckless for no reason. It was really funny. But
You want to hear a reckless field trip story from...
yeah.
I went to Neptune High School, and our 8th grade trip or middle school, was to Six Flags, and we all got like class t-shirts, and for whatever reason, I got a 3XL, and it was like a dress on me, and I snuck in a box cutter in my lunchbox, and I like cut up my shirt so it would fit better, and then somebody from like the staff of Six Flags is like, what are you doing? Like, why do you have a box cutter behind the teacups? And I was like, I'm not up to anything. And I had to like go sit in an office for like 4 hours because they thought I was gonna like knife somebody, and I was like, I'm just,
It's fashion.
Yeah, fashion.
That wasn't you trying to be reckless. That was you just trying to make a nice shirt for yourself.
Yeah. Should not sneak in box cutters just like anywhere.
That is crazy. So to backtrack on how you thought aliens use radio frequencies to communicate with us, is that what started your passion for college radio? How about that transition?
Wow, that was... no, actually, so that's always been a fear of mine, but my connection with college radio, specifically WMCX, when I was like maybe like 18 or 19, I was listening and they were playing the Front Bottoms because New Jersey, and whoever was the DJ like transitioned out and was talking about seeing them at Russo's play recently, and I called in and I was like, oh yeah, like I was there, that was cool. And then whatever, they were talking and they were like, yeah, there was like a girl there that had purple hair and she gave me some cookies and she was cool. And then I had to call back in and I was like, that was also me. Like, I'm not trying to be a weirdo, but that, like, the call was me and that was me too.
That does sound like you.
I mean, it was.
And so I'm so curious. When obviously, Ali, you and I know each other. We went to school together at the same time at Monmouth University. And I've always known you to sort of have like a really strong pulse on what was going on in that relative music scene. And I'm so curious, I guess we could start from the very beginning. Like, how did you get into music? Like, was there music always playing in your house? Like, what was that experience for you?
Well, yeah, music was like always a big thing in my house when I was growing up. My mom will like murder me if I don't tell this story of how when she had kids, she was like, I want to be up to date on like the cool music, so she would listen to Taking Back Sunday. So she just like bred emo children out the womb. And when I was like a teenager, I started working. I was like a mall rat at the Monmouth Mall for a long time, and then like a lot of the mall rats like formed bands at like the local shows. So just kind of went from there.
Oh, okay. And so I guess that was at a pretty early age for you, where you started going to shows and stuff like that?
Yeah, I feel like I started going to shows at like 12, which sounds really young now, but I always thought like it was fine because I was really tall at 12. Like I was the height I am now at 12. So I was like, it's normal, it's fine. But my mom would just like drop me off at like VFWs or... Yeah, mostly VFWs or firehouses.
That's really cool. So then what kind of bands would go through obviously a lot of local bands, but any bands who weren't as well known back then that are pretty popular now that you got to kind of see rise up?
I saw the Front Bottoms all the time when I was younger, to 20, 30 people, and then they started blowing up quick. I saw Pine Grove a couple times before they were like really Pine Grove. But a lot of the bands that I saw, most of the bands I saw, like, were defunct, like, after a year.
Sure.
There are a lot of bands that, like, I like one song of them, and I can't find them anymore because it was 2011, and, like, nothing exists online of them. And I'm like, please, come back.
That's really, really cool. What... So many questions. So many different directions we can go in, Ali.
I have a question for you real quick. It's, like, very off topic, but... So
it's
when
okay.
you showed the Elvis poster in your room, there was like a Pompasan chair. Is
Yeah.
that also green?
Yeah, so the color scheme in my room is green and blue.
That's cool.
The ceiling is blue.
Ooh, like the sky.
Yeah, and when my mom hired like painter people to come and paint it, because my mom's like a perfectionist. Like if we painted ourselves and you could see the brushstroke, she was not going to be happy about it. So when they were painting it, they kept asking if they were painting a dollhouse. And I was in 6th grade and I got really embarrassed, but I'm not embarrassed by it. I like it.
No, does it work as a green screen?
It could. My walls are pretty covered though. so it's hard to find a good spot. But that was also the idea, to use it as a green screen.
Eric, you got cool stuff in your room too. I just like looking at people's rooms.
Thanks. I just got a bunch of like posters I got from like Hot Topic when I was like in 8th grade, and just they're still up there.
I feel that. I'm on my desktop, so I can't really move around, but like if you could see my walls right now, I would be so embarrassed.
What? So that is your room?
This is so I live with my parents still, and we have a mother-daughter, so like I have my own kitchen, and this is
wow.
an office / like living room space that I live in, but there's like all my own stuff on here. Yeah. What have y'all been up to with the pandemic? Like, are you still working? Are you working from home? How's it feeling?
I am working. I work in Princeton. I work for a glass company, and so I've been working for the past 5 months, just doing glass stuff.
Do you like blow glass, or is it?
No, it's not that cool. It's just like installing like patio doors and shower doors and fixing windows and stuff like that.
That sounds pretty cool to me.
Thank you. It's nice to be in Princeton every day. I go to that Wawa like just about every day in the morning.
I'm so very jealous. The Wawas near me are not nearly as cool.
Yeah, there's I think there's 4 or 5 Wawas within a 10-minute drive of me.
We got 2 in my town. You know what sucks? Okay, so you know how when we were in college there was only like 1 Quick Check around Monmouth?
Yes.
So now they have like 3 Wawas within like 2 miles.
Really? The only Wawa that was there was kind of a hike.
Yeah, it was in my town, which I mean wasn't far, but like I wouldn't go to between classes. Now there's like a bunch of Wawas, and I'm like,
these kids, they don't know how good they got it.
They don't.
SMH. Allie, I think the last time I saw you in person was at the train, right? In the city?
Yes.
I think... What?
When was that?
It was a long time ago. It was definitely a long time ago. But I think I had graduated. I don't know if you had graduated. But like I was going on my train and you were coming off of your train. And we were just like, oh, it's you. What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, that casual, what's it called? What's that train station called? I can't remember because I have
Penn Station?
Penn Station, hell. You know, when you see somebody you know from across, like, the Cinnabon, and you're like, yo.
Yeah. But
I don't...
But, like, it wasn't like, oh, I have to talk to this guy now. Right? Like, you were excited to see me, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. I can't remember when it was. Like, I literally cannot remember when that happened or when I was in the city last.
I think it was warm outside. It must have been over a summer.
Maybe.
I don't
know.
Do you like the city?
I hate the city. I hate it.
Me too.
I don't get the hype. I mean, it's probably because, like, I've lived here, like, in the proximity of it, but, like, I hate it. I hate going into Penn Station. Everything's more expensive. It's not as fun. I hate it.
What's your dream job career, and where would you live to fulfill it? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh my God.
No, don't do that.
So much dread. I've always seen myself living in Missoula, Montana for absolutely no reason other than it just sounds cool. Probably would like to stay in New Jersey though, because it's pretty fun. I have no idea what, like, I want to do or what even, like, a dream would be. Just alive and not bothering anybody, pretty much.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think photography has become much more than a hobby for you, right?
Yeah, I have done that like a lot lately. I've transitioned into like a lot of different like mediums than I used to work in.
Oh, that's cool. Like what? Did you start doing any like video stuff or anything like that?
A little bit, but I am not nearly like as well rounded with video as I'd hoped to be. I really wish that I went the Hawk TV path instead of radio. You know, just a super budding market radio is in 2020. I just like started shooting different stuff. Like I was doing music and sports a lot, and now that's like something that you can't really do. So I started doing food for like restaurants. I've been doing that a lot, and like stylized clothing for like venues. Like I did the Stone Ponies merch shoot and stuff like that, which is like way out of my wheelhouse. Like I normally don't like shooting anything that isn't movement.
Oh, sure. Well, isn't it good to always kind of get out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, definitely.
When did you first get into taking pictures?
Maybe when I was like in like 8th grade. I think I took like a photo class. And I was
Oh,
like,
really?
That's pretty cool.
So did that kind of start as your, passion for music started to bud?
Yeah, so like I started working at the Lanes when I was like 13, and that's where I started shooting my first shows, because like they just encouraged you to do whatever you wanted. So I was like, I'll try this.
That's really cool. All right, could you name the first show that you took pictures for, and then the last show you took pictures for?
Yes, the first show I shot was Modern Baseball at the Lanes.
That's really cool.
A blast, and I cry if I think about it too much. I miss Modern Baseball so much.
Me too.
And the last show I shot, I actually lied earlier. I went to one show after that Halogen show. I saw Just Friends and Prince Daddy and that whole tour that only went for 2 days in the beginning of March in Philly.
Oh, that's cool.
That was all good.
So when we talk to guests on the podcast, we like to sometimes imagine that there's a listener who might be just getting into music, or maybe in this case, just getting into concert photography. What advice would you give somebody who's just getting into that kind of stuff? And how do you go about getting a press pass at your local venue?
Oh, okay, I can definitely help with this.
Nice, because I've always been curious about that.
My like number one thing to anybody who's like getting started with any type of photography is just stay off the like photography subreddit. There's a lot of like dad jerks on there who are going to be mean to you with any type of question you have. They're so rude. You ask any question and they're just like, you don't know what you're talking about. You shouldn't have this hobby. Don't let them tell you that. But any gear that you have is like the best gear to start with. I've seen a lot of people starting to shoot with iPhones, and like you might get crap for that, but like, use the gear that you have. It's pretty easy to get photo passes. Like I started doing it pretty young. I remember the first photo pass I got was for All Time Low and Man Overboard at Starland Ballroom, and I just like messaged them on Twitter, like Man Overboard. I was like, hey, can I shoot the show? I have a ticket. If you have a ticket in the beginning, it's going to be a lot easier to get photo passes, because then it doesn't really cost them any money. But a lot of the times, like, it works best if you have like a publication to shoot for, which sounds intimidating, but there are so many publications out there, and like 90% of them are like just started by other people that like there's so many publications, and like it doesn't have to be like Brooklyn Vegan or anything big. Like little magazines get press passes all the time.
Sure. And I remember, just a personal anecdote, you were kind of running the college radio station at Monmouth University, and I was getting into like interviewing bands for one of the shows that I was working on while at the TV station.
Triple scoop!
Yeah, represent. Thank you. And you were able to get me in at a venue to interview like Heart Attack Man and
Safe Face?
Yeah, exactly. And just because I was there for the publication of the WWCX website, because we were going to do like a simulcast, like cross-platform deal, like I was just able to walk in and like do what I needed to do. I got to meet some really, really cool artists that I've always looked up to, and I got an interview and I got to see a really cool show. So it's just like as simple as that.
Yeah. I would say the number one thing to like keep in mind when doing that, whether you're interviewing or taking photos or like just interacting with bands, is like be chill.
Yeah. You taught me that. You taught me that for sure.
It's hard though. Like I remember when we were doing Babes in Boyland, we all went on Say Anything's tour bus and like got to interview Max Bemis, and I like love Say Anything, and I like had to be chill, and I was just like, oh my god, it's hard.
Yeah, it is. It's tough, but that's really cool. I didn't know you got to go on and interview Say Anything.
Yeah, Max Bemis was a weird dude.
He seems very eccentric. So, you've got to shoot some really, really awesome people. Like Ringo Starr, right?
Yeah.
You shot Lizzo.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was a blast.
Yeah, Marilyn Manson. You did.
It's terrifying.
I can imagine. There's there's probably so many I can go through, and I'm just trying to hype you up right now to whoever's listening.
Thanks.
But basically, you started from the bottom, and now we're here.
Yeah,
is what I'm getting at.
To Ringo Starr. I was able to do Carly Rae Jepsen once, and that was like so much fun. I love Carly Rae Jepsen.
That's awesome. And again, that all of that was just based on you had a publication you were taking pictures for, or did you were you able to build like a name for yourself in that concert photography community?
A little bit. I am like not as bold online as I used to be. I am like very bad at sharing anything I make or like my photos myself. And that like definitely would help if I was better about that. But I think just like making friends online and like being chill and interacting with other people online has like really helped make connections. Like going back to that Heart Attack Man and Save Face one, like that was before Heart Attack Man put out that really, really good record. Like I think they only had an EP out at that time. And like Eric from Heart Attack Man is online constantly, and like I've never met that dude, but like we follow each other, we like send memes back and forth, and like interacting with him and like the rest of that friend group and going down and down and down like really helps to stay like connected and knowing about the scene. And if you want to do something, whether it be like photographing, interviewing, setting up live streams, like that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously being talented is a big part of it, but also a really big part that I think a lot of people miss is just being genuinely nice to everybody you meet, because you don't know who's going to be able to help you out later on.
Yeah. It's really nice to see how many like genuinely nice people there are, and how they're from like so many different corners of the world and have lived so many different lives.
For sure. I mean, I'm sure folks kind of spread out throughout the country that you've met just through music or even photography and stuff.
Yeah, I'm a part of that like photo show To the Front that's like all like non-men from all over, and I've been able to make some really great friends through that. I have my friend Kat who does like all of the creative work for Pure North Records. She lives in California. I think she lives in LA. I don't know. California is huge. And my friend Amanda, who like is engaged to Stefan from Pup. She lives in Toronto, and it's just like so many different places, so many different people.
Can we promote that To the Front thing you were talking about, or did it already happen?
I don't think they have anything going on right now. It's just a collective, but it's also really helpful for people who like want to get more involved in like photography, because they help people find gigs, and it's like a nice community of like non-males who are like a lot more chill about it. They're not like gear snobs, and like we have a Discord chat. I don't know how to add people to it because I'm apparently 90 years old and don't know how to use fucking Discord. But
do you think is there like a Facebook page maybe, or a Twitter account?
There's a Twitter. It's To the Front DIY.
Awesome.
Yeah, they do good stuff, and like a lot of like anytime we do events or like print sales or anything, they're always fundraisers. So
that's really cool. And then I know you said you're kind of bad about sharing your stuff. Do you have like a photography specific account, or is it just your personal like accounts where sometimes you share your stuff?
Yeah, it's just my own personal account that I'm very bad at using on Instagram. I think I post like once every 9 months.
But it's quality when you do post.
I don't know about that. It's I figured out internet branding when I was really young. Took the same name on everything.
Do you want to plug that real quick?
Yeah. I'm of all things Ali, ALI, at everything.
Yeah. Are you still on Tumblr?
Yeah, I think so. I'm on Tumblr, Friendster. Bro, do you know how I came about that name? It's like a kind of cringy story.
Okay.
My brother is like a really big Blink-182 fan. Our dog is named Hoppus. And he had like a biography book about them that was like, not published through them, like maybe a fan made it. And it said that Mark originally wanted to name the band Of All Things after it's not Minor Threat, but it's another DC like emo band song. And then I was like, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna use that. And then I made a Twitter when I was like 11.
I didn't know that Blink story.
I don't know if it's real. Like, it doesn't. I can't find it anywhere else other than that like one book that my brother had.
Mark Hoppus took a picture of me.
No way. Why? What is that story?
We went to he was doing a little talk at a little theater in Princeton.
I remember that.
About just his life or whatever. There was like a Q&A, and afterwards there was like a little like line for a little meet and greet, and you could take a picture with him. And everybody, we were like towards the back, so we were just standing in line for like a good 15-20 minutes watching everybody just walk up and take a picture with him. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do something else. And I walk up and I ask him to take a picture of me. And so I'm the only one there who got a picture taken by Mark Hoppus. So I thought that was special. He thought he got a kick out of it. He enjoyed it.
His wife was like crying, laughing in the corner.
That is so
funny. It was a decent picture.
Yeah, does he got the skills?
Yeah, but I didn't. I should have asked Russell. I should have asked you to take a picture of him taking a picture of me.
Oh,
yeah, that would have been better.
I didn't really think about that.
That would have been better.
It's still a great story. Oh my god, I'm very jealous. I remember seeing like pictures. I think you also went, Russell, right?
Yeah, Eric and I went, and then with a couple of other friends.
I saw some pictures of that on Twitter, and I was like, damn, nice.
It was free.
That's so cool.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was really cool that we got to go see that. And when I met him, I saw his son Jack was sitting there right next to him at the table.
Ooh, Jack.
And so I looked right at Mark and I looked right at Jack and I started talking to Jack. Jack's pretty cool.
That was right around the time there was like a picture that like Ariana Grande posted with him, or he posted with Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I'm obsessed
like
with
they met at like a restaurant or something, and they got a picture together. So we were giving him shit about that. It was funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with that picture because it's just Jack and Ariana Grande's like on him, like hugging him, and in the he wrote like as the comment, he's like, imagine.
Imagine what, Jack?
So
oh my god. I love the Blink-182 kids. I recently found Tom DeLonge's kids on TikTok, and boy, are they cringy. I love it. I love it.
Did you ever get the opportunity to shoot Blink or meet any of those guys?
No. A big hole in my heart. They're like probably on my like top 5 list of like artists I hope to get to shoot one day, but I don't really mess with like Blink with Matt Skiba because I don't know. I don't trust Matt Skiba. Something's off about him.
I don't trust like that.
I don't trust him.
Who else is in that top area of folks you have yet to shoot that you want to?
I'd really, really like to shoot Lady Gaga at some point.
Mm.
I'm trying to think. I can't. Those are like the only 2 that come to mind right now. Taylor Swift was at the top for a really long time, but I finally got to shoot her, and that was
so could we talk maybe more about folks you did get to shoot? I'm sure it'll be impossible to name all of them because it's been so cool that you got to do so many. But
thanks. Yeah, Taylor Swift was the coolest ever. That was like my first arena shoot, and it was a really long day of just like traversing MetLife and not knowing where I was or where I had to be. And I got to meet her publicist, and she was really nice. And she was like, I was with 2 other young girls, and then the rest were like dad photographers that work for newspapers. And she had us all together, and she's like, "You're gonna do great." Like, you could just tell there was like an energy she was trying to push of like young girls doing cool stuff, which was fun. But that was wild. And I got to shoot her again at Jack Antonoff's like town hall thing one year. That was cool.
That's awesome. How do you like mentally prepare for maybe like a big arena shoot like that? How many pictures do you think you take and then ultimately end up using or sending out?
So I have a bad habit of overshooting, as I think a lot of people might. I don't know, like, why are you gonna undershoot? Why are you gonna risk like losing the shot that you want with like music and stuff? It's, you have to like play a hard game of like just timing everything exactly right. For a big arena shoot, like the last time I shot something at like PNC or something, I think I sent out like 25 photos. Like, I try to really cull it down because you don't want something, nobody's gonna look through that many to like have it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because you send out 25, but then how many do they ultimately end up using? Maybe like 7? Or I guess it depends what they're using it for.
Yeah, and like, again, it's like you don't even always send everything out, because sometimes like you end up shooting a band that like was opening for it, and they're like, "Hey, I got to shoot this band, like here's some photos from it," and their label or their manager could be sketchy, and they'll end up using them, no credit, and like, I don't really care about the credit or anything, but if you're gonna print them, it would be cool to, you know, at least get a heads up or paid.
Sure.
I took that photo for the Mom Jeans album cover, and that got printed, like third parties have printed it. It's been used in ads, and I like never got paid for it, which is fine. But
which picture?
The Puppy Love album cover.
Oh, really? That was you?
That was me.
Oh my god.
That was at a house show in Red Bank. It was a lot of fun. Very, very sweaty.
Have you been listening to a lot of music this year? I've talked to a few people, and just with the, you know, everything going on, it's been difficult to get into new stuff.
Yeah, I like feel like this year didn't actually happen. I've like tried to stay up and still listen to stuff, but I found myself listening to like very little music this year. I listened to the new Pup record. I love that. The new Long Neck record, really great record. New Teenage Halloween, new Jeff Rosenstock, new. I never remember that band name. It's like, the album is called Songs to Yeet at the Sun. They're from Philly.
Is it
Soul Glow.
Yeah, Soul Glow. That's the bassist from Jank. He's in that band, isn't he?
Ruben?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking of the drummer from Jank was in, God, that band that like everybody loved for a hot minute. They're like a 3-piece of brothers. This is gonna bug me. Hold on one second.
The Jonas Brothers?
Yes, the Jonas Brothers. So, they played Champagne Jam one year. Like, the last year it was in Asbury they played. Oh.
I bet David Duro knows, and he's just like screaming into his phone.
It's not Remo Drive, is it?
It's Remo Drive!
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
I didn't know he was in Remo Drive.
For like a minute, yeah. His name's Sam, and like he's always like popping around from different bands. I went to college for like a semester with him, and I was like, yo.
I know you to be very passionate about. I can't say old Asbury Park, because there is an old Asbury Park, but there was an era Asbury Park where places like the lanes and stuff were really bumping. Could you paint those of us who didn't get to experience that nightlife a picture of what it was like?
Somewhat, because I never got to experience it as like 21 and up, so I have like kind of a limited view of what Asbury nightlife was at the time.
Give us the PG stuff.
Yeah. I actually did end up at a lot of places I was not supposed to be. I was at a lot of sex toy bingos when I was like 15. And, like people would go home with butt plugs, and I'd be like, "All right, have a good night. I have to go back to sophomore year of college now." It was very different than if you go to Asbury Park in 2020. Obviously,
Yeah.
the whole street's different now. Like parking is completely different, and it was, if you go down like in the off months like now, it would be like that into the summer too. Like it wasn't like a complete ghost town or anything, but it was not nearly as many people not from Monmouth County there. Around this time of year we would have the Home for the Holiday shows with the Bouncing Souls. I don't know if you all ever went to those. Those are always like a fun end of the year. And then we would have those after shows at the lanes. And like the Menzingers have played those. One time CM Punk came and it was wild. He is the tallest person I think I've ever met in my life.
CM Punk is the tallest person you ever met?
That's probably not factual, but I was very, I was just stunned. I, had to put a wristband on him, and I was like, wow. Like, he's an absolute unit. And I don't know how tall he is. How tall is CM Punk?
I mean, compared to other wrestlers during his time, he's definitely not, I mean, those guys are huge anyway, but he was definitely not the biggest.
Yeah, he was only 6'2". That's, my brother's taller than that, and I see him every day. I don't know. Maybe I was just, overwhelmed by the idea of CM Punk in front of me for a long time.
Were you sitting down when he walked up to you?
No.
He's got 6'6" energy.
He does. He has the opposite. He has, he's just radiates, unit. For a long time, I really wanted to be, a WWE wrestler or, a VFW wrestler.
It's not too late.
Yeah, it is
It's never too late.
It's not too late, but I do have, bird buzz, so I feel like I have to find, a different way to be involved. I started shooting wrestling, at House of Independence, and I got booked for a gig in Atlantic City, and then Corona happened, but that's really fun. I, highly recommend checking out if you ever have any local wrestling coming through. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's how you work your way up is as a wrestler, is doing the really small local stuff, and then if you're really lucky, maybe 5-10 years down the line you make it to that tier. So they're trying so hard, and the matches are great.
They have so much passion.
Oh yeah, and your pictures came out dope as usual, but even for action shots like that, that was really cool.
Thanks. Yeah,
Russ, we should start wrestling.
You should.
Yeah, we should do. You remember in Workaholics, the front yard wrestling?
No.
Yeah. Oh, so the Workaholics guys in one episode, they did front yard wrestling where they set up a makeshift ring in the front yard and they would film it for their local access. But there's a real life behind the scenes story of before the Workaholics guys were the Workaholics guys. They actually did that in real life. They did front yard wrestling for their local public access TV channel.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it is awesome.
That. I love anything public access. I think we should have more people be about public access.
I've been trying to reach out to the public access station manager in my town for the past couple months, and I have not heard anything.
Yeah, there's apparently
I didn't even
one
know
for
we had
Asbury.
one.
It's if you go to the channel, it's like a never-ending PowerPoint of the senior center's closed today.
Oh, gotcha.
It's like if you go to a hotel and they have
Yes.
the hotel channel and it never actually changes.
Yes.
There is a New Jersey public access in New York, I think. It's NJTV, but I don't know what they actually do. I went to the one Manhattan News Network. It's not Manhattan News Network. That's from How I Met Your Mother. But I've been to the one where they've done the Chris Gethard show a handful of times.
That started there?
Yeah, that started. They did 2 or 3 years on public access before they got picked up.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was public access, but I didn't know specifically where. You're probably working a bunch of different odd jobs before the pandemic started, but I know something that you did relatively regularly was you worked door at the Asbury Park Brewery, right?
Yeah, that was That was like not my full-time gig, but I would do that probably 3 times a week. I worked there, and I worked for the Asbury Park Boardwalk, and like both of them are like acronized as APB, so it would always get confusing in my calendar. I'm like, wait, am I working at the brewery or the boardwalk? The brewery or the boardwalk? I miss checking IDs so much. I do not know what IDs look like anymore, other than my own.
How many did you bust? A lot of people trying to pull fast ones on you?
Like 99% of the time, like when I found a fake ID and like the person was chill and they were just like with a group of older friends, like I would let them go because I was that person for a long time and I just didn't have access to a fake ID. But there's been like a handful of times where people would come in and they were just like shithead little kids who were like had obviously bad fake IDs, and like one time they literally had like a Bud Light in their jacket. I'm like, bro, this is a brewery. They only have one type of beer. Like, this is not the place to pull this. Go down to the yacht club. Like,
yeah, for anyone listening who doesn't know, the Asbury Park Brewery is an actual brewery where sometimes they host really cool concerts or shows. And it's always 21 plus, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
It's most often all ages. Like, you just can't drink. Yeah.
And they mark a hand, right?
Yeah, I give you a little X.
You're right, because my brother came to a show and he was a minor at that point. You're right. I love that place. I really do.
That was the last place I saw you.
What show was it?
It was Harmony Woods and The World Is a Beautiful Place. When David Juro was playing drums.
What a good time. That was like right after Fest. I remember we were all talking about the Bam Margera Fest meme. Good times.
That was early 2020, right? My timeline is so messed up, but that was like January, February this year, right?
Let me tell you.
I feel like that was this year.
Oh, I think so, because David was on tour, yeah.
That would make sense. I go by my like photo album on my phone to remember anything that has ever happened, and I probably still have the load-in information screenshotted.
I don't know if you listened to the episode we had with Connor Hansen, but we asked him like the best moment he's experienced at the brewery, which I'm sure most of them are great, and then like a horror story. Would you be able to provide us with any? And if you say anything that he said, I'll have to cut you off because it's not fair to the listeners.
Okay. I was like, I was gonna ask if I could guess some of Connor's, because I know that the Foxing show was a highlight for him.
Yeah, probably. That was his best.
Yeah, of course. It was a cool show. I didn't mind it, but there are like some shows that I think Connor for a while tries to not work because they get kind of rowdy, and there are a lot of the like shore style shows.
What do you mean by shore style?
Shore style is like
hardcore.
Hardcore stuff from the beach.
Yeah.
There's one guy named Swank who puts on a lot of them and is in a lot of like the bands. And there's a lot of people who I like consider like old heads that come. And I always like those shows because I like seeing like my old heads and I'm like, hey guys. But they get really rowdy. One time Swank got hit in the head with an ammo box and like busted open his head because somebody was peeing in a bucket. And, like,
yeah, that's the exact story that Connor told us.
Yeah, I wasn't actually there for that, but I saw Swank like right after and I was like, what happened? What did I miss? That was an intense one. I got to work like a couple cool like things there that weren't just like shows. Like I worked, Chris Gethard did some stand-up there. I worked that. And...
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know they do stand-up shows there.
Yeah, he was like recording that is like he was doing like a New Jersey comedy album that he recorded there.
I listened to that. It was pretty good.
He did that at the brewery?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had no idea. Yeah, I listened to that too. It was really good.
And one time Panic at the Disco came. They were supposed to play like a couple songs, but they didn't, and I couldn't be like, you know how I normally sit close to the door? I just sit all the way out by like the front door, so it was just like very cold and I couldn't like hear or see what was going on. But I did
they
get
not
to like
play?
I don't know what they did. Like I knew that like two of them came with instruments. They were only there for like 30 minutes. But I know it's not Patrick Starr. Why can I not remember the guy from Panic at
Brendan
the
Urie.
Yeah, I don't. Why did Patrick Star? He shook my hand and he was like, "Thanks so much for doing the door." And I was like,
Oh wow.
"You do a lot of cocaine, Mister." It was cool though. It was really cool.
Eric, are you okay over there?
Yeah, sorry, my phone charger is not working.
That's okay.
Now
You're
it is. And I
it's
just got
working
down
now?
to 10%, and it's working now.
okay.
I know that struggle. I got mad cords in my drawer if you need one.
Yeah, yo, pass me one.
Yeah, you know one. The magic of the internet.
Are you up to play a quick thing of this or that before we wrap up for this evening?
I love this or that. Let's do it.
Awesome. So then you know how to play. Let's jump right into it. I've got a couple. Eric, do you have any that you want to start off with or no?
No, you can go first.
Okay, ready? This is gonna divide. This is gonna divide the podcast right now, and I don't mean it to, but I think it's just good conversation. You ready? Simpsons or Futurama?
Bro.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Actually, I don't know. I'm pro both, but I don't know. When it comes down to it, if I had to choose only one to watch the rest of my life, I think I'd choose Simpsons.
Oh, that surprised me.
But
Eric.
I would really have a hard time, and I would beat myself up over it afterwards. But
I think I agree with you. Like, I objectively think Futurama as a whole is probably a better series. It knows when to end. It's like tried different mediums, and The Simpsons are just going to go on forever. But I really, enjoy the whole lore of The Simpsons, and it's just a very special show. I have like little what's it called? Here's a Lenny with a beer. Like I like that.
Not Lenny.
Not Lenny. Mr. Plow.
I have Mr. Plow shoes.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Allie, didn't you participate in a thing and they named you like you were in the top like 0.01 percentile of Simpsons fans or knowledge of the Simpsons or something like that?
There was like a quiz app that I was like obsessed with for a hot minute, and I was number one in the whole every country and Simpsons trivia. Granted, like I just don't think a lot of people were playing, but
Do you ever get over to r/Simpson shitposting?
yes, all the time.
It's pretty fantastic. I think that's my favorite subreddit.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. I love The Simpsons so very, very much.
I think I'm gonna have to say Simpsons as well, but as I told Eric off air, I started watching Futurama and I'm pleasantly surprised with it's different. And it's actually goofier and quirkier, there's some characters that I definitely
Is this your
love.
first watch through?
I think I've tried it a handful of times, but it was just random episodes that were on TV. And this time I'm actually, doing it through Hulu, so it's like everything in order, which I prefer because I'm sort of pedantic like that sometimes.
It's a good series to do that with. I mean, there's actually like a lot of good character growth, and like they reference older episodes, so like
Yeah. I like
the story arcs of the first few seasons are really nice.
They really are. Yeah. And even the later seasons when they did the reboot, there's like some good story arcs too. Good stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm excited to get into the rest of it. Okay, next to this or that. Dramedy or rom-com?
It's like an example of a dramedy.
Like, there's like a lot of like those movies about like homecomings of like, oh, he's a doctor in the big city, but he's got to go back to his small town because his mom is sick.
So
and
like Hallmark movies?
There, I guess, I mean, Hallmark movies are all rom-coms too. But there's plenty of dramedies that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head right now.
I was going to say like something like Jojo Rabbit, where it's like funny and silly, but it's also like intense and hard at some moments.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely like
that.
satire front and center, but there's, stuff like that. Like
Punch Drunk Love?
That's a really good example. Yeah.
That came to mind from fucking Professor Lawrence's film class. I was trying to remember from that. I think probably more of the dramedy than rom-com. Rom-com for me like gets sticky. Like I have a very hard time watching anything that I'm uncomfortable by. Like I didn't watch The Office for the longest time because like I was uncomfortable by the like awkwardness and like that and I just like turn it off. Like I do that with any like type of rom-com. If it's getting like sappy, I'm like, all right, I'm done with this.
Do you do horror movies?
Yeah, I like a good horror movie.
Oh, that's interesting.
It doesn't freak me out as much, and like I can kind of get through that if there's like a suspense angle. Did you watch Professor Lawrence's horror movie? Thinking of that?
I didn't actually. I didn't.
Uncle Peckerhead. Highly recommend it. 10 out of 10.
I heard a lot about it. There was a lot of people promoting it because there's a lot of friends of theirs who worked on it.
Yeah, I think Dylan has PA credit on it, or somebody does.
Yeah, I think our friend Dylan does. Yeah, that's cool. Eric, what do you think? Dramedy or rom-com?
Definitely dramedy.
I think so too.
I'm not too big on the rom-coms.
I'm glad we're all kind of on the same wavelength here.
Unless it's an Adam Sandler rom-com, then I'm in for it.
Yeah, like 50 First Dates or something like that?
Or Wedding
Love
Singer.
it. Yeah, all of them.
Wedding Singer. What's your do you have a favorite Adam Sandler movie?
Probably Uncut Gems. That's probably a dramedy, right? Or just a drama movie. There's not a lot of comedy in there.
I'd say you could say dramedy a little bit. Yeah. There's funny moments.
I got a lot of screenshots from it that I think are funny. But when I first saw it, I have like a heart rate monitor on my Apple Watch, and it went off because my heart rate got so high during that movie because it was so intense the first watch around. I was like, ugh.
Have you seen other Safdie brothers movies?
I don't think so.
No. You would know. They all make you feel like that.
Yeah, I saw what was it called? Good Time, the one with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Is that the one where he like has like a brother that he's running with? Okay, then I did see that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That also made me nervous.
Yeah, it made me anxious the whole time. I remember I put it on one night because I couldn't really sleep, and I was just browsing through Netflix. I'm like, oh, this looks good, and I put it on, and immediately I was just like wide awake and like could not go back to sleep. I was like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna be up for a few hours. Might as well finish watching this.
But Robert Pattinson is a really good actor.
Yeah.
Me and Russell saw The Lighthouse and freaked out over it. I'm still freaking out over that movie. I still
you
love
liked
that movie. I enjoyed it.
I hated it.
Really?
I was so mad about that movie.
He's just like ever since Twilight, he's been trying to prove like I am more than just a vampire guy. Like I can act for real life, and he's been knocking it out of the park. I'm really excited to see him as Batman. I think that's gonna be dope.
And I'm excited for that too. He was in like something I saw on Netflix as like a Southern pastor, and I can't remember the name of it, but he was really, really good.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man's in that too, right?
Yes.
Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't see it. But if you could pick like a Happy Madison Adam Sandler movie, what would be the best one?
Is Little Nicky kind of?
Yes.
Yeah, Little Nicky. 100%.
I just saw Little Nicky for the first time, and I was going to talk about it because it was so funny.
It's the best. Oh my god. It's so funny. And like all the music references in there. Funny.
Yeah. Because Adam Sandler kind of does that same goofy voice in every movie. And in this one, he had a voice I had never heard before. And I couldn't stop laughing whenever he would talk.
Yeah. Oh man. I like watched that recently too. Like probably in the last like 2 weeks.
I've never seen it.
Oh my god!
I think it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
It's on.
Is it worth it?
It's definitely worth it. I mean, you got to know what you're getting into, Eric. It's an Adam Sandler movie.
So I should expect something serious, right? I should expect. Am I gonna cry?
Dramedy, more drama. It was really good. That's awesome. Maybe we'll do one more. Eric, were you able to think of one, or should I just rattle off another one here?
I had one, but then I lost it.
That's classic.
But it wasn't very good anyway.
I don't know if I should waste these on you, Ali.
Oh. That's supposed to be.
Okay, so all right, here's the one I didn't know if I should waste. And ready? Because I didn't know if you watched these. Sopranos or Godfather?
I actually have not seen The Godfather, but I do love The Sopranos.
Yeah?
Yeah. I love Little Steven and anything that Little Steven is in. And I love how much every time he is in something, he gets his actual wife to play his wife, and I think that's good. I think that's really funny. I watched a Christmas movie recently that he and his wife were in, and like Russell Crowe is in it too. I forget what it's like a Netflix one. And it's
Where
really
Russell
good.
Crowe is Santa?
Yeah, it's like the Chronicle something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch it, but I keep hearing about it. Yeah.
It was pretty okay. Like I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. What about you guys? Where you fall on the Sopranos versus Godfather line?
What do you think, Eric?
I actually haven't seen Godfather, but I love The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Wow, guys, get some culture.
It's too long. I'm like very bad at watching anything that's like longer than.
I think the Godfathers are definitely a little overhyped. They're great though. It's a great trilogy. I think Sopranos is pretty amazing though. And then if you want to, there's more content. Obviously, there's more hours of stuff to watch with the Sopranos.
We're from Jersey. We gotta say Sopranos. Take it easy.
Tell a short Sopranos sidetrack thing that I'm very proud of. For work, so like I still work for the Asbury Park Boardwalk, and we were doing a podcast for a while, and I was pitching ideas of like different podcasts we could do, and I was able to connect like the person who was doing it with the cinematographer of the episodes that took place at the Jersey Shore, so they could like kind of talk about how they wanted to like show Asbury Park at the time and use it for like Tony's Nightmares and everything. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad this came to fruition, and I'm so glad that like I had any little part of it. Like I love those episodes.
That is awesome. I gotta find that now.
I think I can find you a link. It's the guy Ming who's on Comic Book Man from the Red Bank store.
I've never been to Red Bank. Am I a fake New Jersey Monmouth alum?
You're not.
I was just there last weekend.
Much? How is it? Like, is it like weird in the pandemic? Like, are there too many people around?
It wasn't that. It was kind of cold out, so there just weren't all that many people around.
Can I maybe leave you guys on a recommendation or a plea to get anybody to watch this thing?
Yeah.
There's a show called Infinity Train. It was originally on Cartoon Network, and then HBO picked it up for like a third season.
Oh, I heard about this. It's animated, right?
Yes. It's so good. It's really, really good, and I want anybody to watch it. It's like 3 seasons. Each episode's like 11 minutes long, and there's 10 episodes per season, and it's like a really like a show that has like incredible depth and especially since it's like made for children. It's not really a children's show at all when you like watch it. It's good. It's really good.
I've been getting into animation and experimenting with that stuff, and I did hear about that, how it's kind of changing the game, that show.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely have to check it out.
I think there's like a really interesting like conversation online going on about animation and like how adult animation is like kind of just like crass fart jokes and mildly racist and homophobic, and like a lot of children's animation like actually tackles heavier subjects well, and they don't all look like Rick and Morty, which is nice.
Yeah, it's definitely an underappreciated art form for sure, and I think that's what those conversations were kind of highlighting.
Definitely.
That's really interesting. On HBO, instead of watching that, I've been watching Chowder.
Chowder's on HBO?
HBO Max, and I've been falling in love with it. I obviously liked it as a kid, but now a little older, where you can kind of understand everything that's going on. It's incredible. It's an absolutely incredible show.
I have to go back and check it out.
Flapjack too?
I liked Flapjack as a kid. I haven't rewatched since.
I watched that recently. It still holds up.
I think HBO Max is planning on adding more like Ed, Edd and Eddy and stuff like that, which I'm really excited about because I've never got to see that like start to finish.
I would love to watch that start to finish.
I'm waiting on Johnny Bravo. I'm sure Johnny Bravo would not have been made today.
Yeah.
But it's funny to think about.
Do you know where I could watch Dexter's Laboratory?
HBO Max.
It's on HBO Max?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Didi, get out of my laboratory.
My laboratory! Oh my god. I've been watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on HBO Max, but I have to like see what else I have on there.
They've got a lot, and there's a lot of those classic Adult Swim shows they have on there too. HBO Max is slowly going to take over and win the game.
I'm honestly not mad about it.
No, me either. Because like Disney came out with all those like, we're making 12 Star Wars shows and 11 Marvel things. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I love Star Wars. I love what they did with The Mandalorian and everything. I'm definitely nervous about having to catch up to everything.
There's just so much canon, and you're like, I can't keep track of all of this.
No.
I only use Disney to watch The Simpsons, and like I watched Soul that came out recently. That was good.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that next week, I think.
Highly recommend. Very good.
For me, Disney Plus is just used for The Simpsons and the Mighty Ducks movies.
Larry, I'm on Mighty Ducks.
And the Mighty Ducks animated show, which is pretty fantastic, I gotta say.
It is?
Yeah. It's so ridiculous. They're like they're alien like human duck hybrids who play ice hockey and fight against aliens.
I have to check that out.
It's so absurd. It's amazing.
Yo, do they sell Mighty Ducks jerseys?
Yeah.
I have a Mighty Ducks like starter jacket. It's huge.
Oh, that's glorious.
So good.
Russ, I gotta send you. They just came out with a new jersey, and it's absurd. It's so ridiculous. It's so
Who's
great.
they?
The Mighty Ducks or the Anaheim
really?
Ducks. They're not the Mighty
the
Ducks
Anaheim
anymore.
Ducks.
They're just the Anaheim Ducks.
Is that your team of choice for hockey?
No, I'm a Devils fan, sadly. But the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, that old logo is like the best in sports, in my opinion. Well, the team doesn't use it anymore, but they only use it like every once in a while, but they should use it all the time.
Yeah. This coming season, they're doing like kind of what the NBA is doing, where it's like throwback inspired jerseys, right?
Yeah.
Those are all pretty interesting to thumb through.
I like the Raptors jerseys. That's actually how I picked which basketball team I like. I'm just like, the Raptors look cool all the time, man.
That's cool.
The coolest name.
Yeah.
They were in the finals the other year, not this past year, but the year before, right?
Yeah.
Did they win? I can't remember. I'm not a big basketball guy.
I just can't, like, I have no concept of time and can't rember anything.
Yeah, it was with Kawhi, and I think they won.
I think maybe they did, guy. Like,
nothing a quick Google search can't fix. Raptors.
I think they lost.
I feel like
NBA finals. No, they won.
Oh, wow.
Congrats!
And Kawhi Leonard was MVP. Yeah. Oh, I remember watching. He had a game-winning shot.
Because everyone in the hockey world made fun of Toronto because they're like, it's the only time a Toronto team is ever going to win a championship.
Got him! Got him! Oh, man. When did this turn into a sports podcast, Eric?
Welcome to Sports Town with Russ and Eric.
Do you guys have like a top 3 or 5 like current SNL members if you still watch like current SNL?
Yes. I watch it and I hate it most of the time, but I still watch every episode.
Yeah.
But I love Kyle Mooney. I feel like there's never I can never get enough Kyle. Like, I feel like he's underused. I like Mikey Day most of the time. I feel like he does a good job. And who else? I really love Chloe. I forget her last name, but she does. Yes,
she's really good.
She's incredible.
But also Melissa Villasenor. Oh my God, she's my favorite. No,
and they never.
Her and Kyle.
They never
use
favorites.
Her. She's super underused. I'm in the same exact boat. Like, I try to watch every episode live. I am in the live from New York subreddit on the live post, going back and forth with people, and I hate it 90% of the time. They really, I think, have a bad batch of writers right now, because they have a good cast, but the sketches are just miss and miss and miss, and I'm I really wish they would lay off of the Trump stuff, just because you can't make it funnier than it already is. It's terrible and crazy, but let's do anything else.
Yeah, I watch fairly religiously as well. I don't watch them live. Maybe the next day though.
Yeah, I'm a Sunday morning. I'm a Sunday morning recorded.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk bad about anybody on here, but I will say Like that guy Bowen Yang. Literally every time he's on, no matter what he's doing, I'm laughing.
Yeah.
And
Which
he's
is
really
really impressive.
talented. Like
He's
can
super
sing.
talented.
It's good. I love him. I love little baby 80. I wish she was in this season more. She's like been off filming something else.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on with that. Because they
I
got
just
a new.
learned she's married to Oh, sorry to interrupt. I just realized she's married to Connor O'Malley.
Yeah, that freaked me out too.
I would love to be a fly on a wall in just their house for like a day to
God,
see
yeah.
what their life is like together. She was filming season 3 of Shrill. That's why she was gone for the first half of the season.
Well, they got a new cast member. I think her name is Lauren Holt. And she looks just like her, and I get confused, if I'm being honest. And that's not fair.
It isn't, and like 90% of the sketches that Lauren has been in, she has had no words. Like she just
Yeah,
is
I noticed
there
that too.
to like stand there and be like a person who like looks uncomfortable. And I'm like, if you're gonna have a new cast member, at least let them speak.
Yeah.
Like,
Heidi Gardner's great too. She's got characters of her own that she works really well. Chris Redd is used well sometimes too.
I feel like they underuse him. I feel like
Yeah,
every time
for
I
sure.
see him, he does a really good job. Like the last
sure.
episode, the Smokey Robinson impression when he was talking about Chinooka, I thought that was because I saw that cameo and he sounded exactly like Smokey Robinson talking about that.
Cecily Strong too is like a number one. Like makes every sketch better that she's in.
Yeah, I'm a fan of her as well. And I mean, Keenan's a staple at this point. I feel like we're gonna ultimately name everybody.
Everyone except for Beck Bennett, even though I love Beck Bennett.
I'm pro Beck.
Yeah, I don't mind Beck. I get like Beck and Alex Day and like maybe another guy mixed up. There's just like a couple white guys that all kind of play the same different characters.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought this was a really solid episode, and seriously, Ali, we can't thank you enough for hopping on with us. It was great to see you and be able to catch up.
Yeah, it's been great to talk to people I'm not related to. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. I hope you had a good holiday and you have a good New Year here.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Well, we're recording this now. It's very late December, last couple of days of 2020. But we're gonna put it out like second or a couple weeks into January. Let's pretend that it's 2021 and we're in it and living in it, and it's like just as good as everyone's saying it is. And action.
Wow, it's amazing. It's 2021. The pandemic is completely gone. My skin is clear. I dropped 30 pounds. Wow.
I got this great jacket.
2021 is everything we thought it would be.
It's 2021 and I get to live with Kyle Mooney and we just, we do bitch back and forth all the time and watch
You
VHS.
finally combined VHS collections.
The dream.
Yeah, my favorite part of 2021 was that one day when it started raining $100 bills. You guys remember that?
Yeah. Oh man, I lost a leg that day.
Oh man, it was raining pennies by me. It hurt.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that wonderful interview with Ali Nugent. Hopefully answered any questions you had about DIY photography and maybe inspired you to do some of your own photography.
Yeah, I hope we were able to help provide the insight for any questions you might have had, looking into how to get a press pass and stuff like that. And I hope we can have her on again soon because there's so much other cool stuff that she does that we didn't even get to talk about.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good one.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see you too, Russ.
What did you say?
I said it's good to see you too.
It's always good to see you, Eric. It is so good. I don't think people realize we do these intros, outros, and then like the interviews like completely separate sometimes. We're like 3-4 weeks removed from this Ali interview. So it's great to see you. But you know what I can't wait for? To see you next week on the next episode of Soundtown.
God, I feel like that's going to be really, really soon.
It could be like in the next 2 minutes for us because we've got more intros and outros to record.
Wow. You know what? When you start a podcast, they give you keys to a time machine, and you can just time travel now, and that's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
So then, we're gonna see you sooner than you expect, folks. That sounded predatorial. We should wrap this episode up right now.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Come back soon to Soundtown, please.
Adios.